Hey guys, John Jr. here, bringing you guys another BBR video. This time, week 5 against Matt O'Shea, who you can check out down in the description below, and you may notice this is going to be a post-comp. The reason for that is because I got a little bit tilted during the match, and my commentary was off after that. My play was obviously off, but we'll talk about that during the match, and I don't want to provide that quality to you guys because I was definitely a little mean and I don't want to upload that type of content. So with that being said, if you want to check out the team that we are using, you can check out the paste down below. But Matt is going to be bringing a Garganackle, a Hydreigon, a Cyclozar, a Terra Fairy Iron Valiant, which was super scary to prep for, a Goldango, and a Breloom. Our team, we are what is now a Terra Water Abomasnow, and we are a Belly Drum Cetitan. I did decide that Belly Drum Cetitan was a very good win con this week because his water type was Slowking, didn't even bring it, so actually I got that Belly Drum off and I OHKO'd everything. We have a Spadef which is here specifically for Hydreigon as well as Goldango. We have a Choice Specs Fluttermane, and that is here because he does not have a resist to dual stabs. He does have Garganackle, which is a really good resist, but we were able to be Specs Modest, which 2-hit KOs any variant of Garganackle that isn't Assault Vest. We have Slowbro, who is going to be AV, that is going to be here as a soft check to the Iron Valiant, and then we have Bronzong, which is here again for the Iron Valiant. We are Trick Toxic Orb on our Bronzong, which was here for the Slowking. He actually did not end up bringing the Slowking though. As for the lead matchup, I decided it was in my best interest to lead the Bronzong. I felt like there wasn't really a great lead against the Bronzong. If he led Goldango, then we went into our Ting Lu. If he led the Breloom, we were in a good spot. This was probably my Spore Bait at this point anyway. We were in a pretty good spot no matter what. So I am going to go ahead and lead our Bronzong here. Like I said, I am going to value rocks a little bit, and we're going to try to get those up as he does end up leading the Garganackle. I decide I'm just going to go for a trick here. The trick play doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll let it play out. The trick play doesn't make a lot of sense. I knew the Soul Cure was coming, and I didn't know that I couldn't Toxic him through the trick. I thought he could not be affected by certain status moves like Thunder Wave and Toxic, not by status in general. So that's my bad. That was a complete misplay and a horrible play on my part. I should not have done that, and if I would go back, I would probably just get my rocks up, assuming I had rocks on this set. I did. So I should have just absolutely got my rocks up. There's no reason not to. At this point, I'm going to panic a little bit. I'm a little tilted because I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, why did he not get Toxic? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm just going to go hard into my Abomasnow, not expecting another Soul Cure to come out, potentially trying to catch a Stealth Rock, and then I can Terra Water and kind of force him out, pressure him out a little bit because I am obviously a pretty strong Grass type, as I'm going to get my Snow up, and he's just going to go for, I believe, his Stealth Rocks here. So he is going to get his rocks up, which are insanely annoying for my team to deal with. I did not bring Talonflame, so obviously I'm not able to defog these hazards away. This following turn, I'm just going to go for an Earth Power, I do believe. I do Terra Water because I don't want to be weak to Soul Cure. However, Soul Cure does do 25%, I believe, at the end of every turn if he does end up using that move. So I'm playing it on this Garganackle super bad. I got super tilted early because I didn't understand how Trick Toxic Orb worked on Garganackle. Now I know though. So I'm going to go ahead and Terra Water here, which he says he did not know I was Terra Water, which makes a lot of sense why he stayed in then. So obviously, I'm Terra Water here, and I do believe I went for the Earth Power there to get as much damage as possible. Garganackle is a lot more Fizz Def and Spud Def, so I am going to go try to see how much I can do, and we are going to see that we do nothing. I was in awe at how good this Garganackle was doing against us, and then Soul Cure comes out, and obviously he's going to get that 25% at the end of every turn. So we're in a really bad spot here. I'm throwing away everything that I have. All my entire game plan is horrible, but I still have Fluttermane in the back, and he was able to give me chip on what might be the best Fluttermane check that he has, at least. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, if he stays in and just Soul Cures again, which makes a lot of sense, my best play is going to be to go into Ting Lu. I force him out, or I'm able to get a Spike up, one of the two, and if I get the Spike up, I can pressure the Cyclozar in, see if we're dealing with like a heavy-duty boots Cyclozar, see if we're dealing with an offensive Cyclozar of some sort, and even then, he might not want to hard switch that Pokemon in on a Body Press. Ting Lu does kind of put him in a very bad situation, because Body Press plus Earthquake does hit the majority of his team, except for Breloom, I think, for a lot of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and switch in Ting Lu here, as he is actually going to switch out, I do believe, into what I think is Breloom, right? He's going to switch out into Breloom here. I do believe he actually switched out into the Cyclozar. So this is actually exactly what we wanted. We wanted to see what the Cyclozar was here for, what this Pokemon does. We're able to fire off a Body Press pretty free here, but I do believe I actually go for a Spike, maybe? Let's see what I go for. I go for a Spike. I end up going for a Spike because I do value that. He's going to knock off, which is super annoying because Ting Lu obviously only has one form of recovery, and that's Leftovers. But I am very shocked that he stayed in on this Pokemon, assuming he's not Chople, because a Body Press would have blown him sideways. I think it would have done like 75% if I'm remembering correctly. But so I'm super shocked that he stayed in. He's going to go for a Rapid Spin here, and I think we might actually see how much damage I do with a Body Press here. Did I click Body Press or did I click Spike again? What did I click? body press. So we're gonna see how much that would have done to him. So yeah, I did about 75%. So I was very shocked that he was willing to give me that damage on the Pokemon. Obviously, he is Regenerator. He's just gonna U-turn to get his Regenerator out right now. But I was a little shocked for that he stayed in. But it makes sense, I guess. It makes sense because he was able to regen it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this spike up now. We're gonna see what his response to Ting Lu is. As he goes into Breloom, which shocked me a little bit because I assumed he was going to be Focus Sash, so it kind of surprised me that he was willing to sack the Sash on this Breloom, or it was a super good play expecting the spikes, switching in the Breloom before the spikes. Either way, you can take it either way, whatever the case may be. At this point, Bronzong is my sleep fodder. If he does go for Spore, Bronzong my play. Otherwise, he goes for Bullet Seed, Bronzong is still my play. Drain Punch, Bronzong is still my play. Like, there's nothing that he can do here that really makes me not want to go Bronzong. I feel like Bronzong is just 100% the best play. And obviously I have a useless Chapel Berry now, so if he doesn't end up soaring, I can get a trick off, either break this thing's potential Sash or whatever. But he is actually going to go for a Bullet Seed here. He doesn't go for Spore. Oops. He goes for Bullet Seed. So then, currently in the battle, that leads me to believe that he doesn't have Spore because I felt like Spore was super free there. Because obviously he knocked me off. He saw that I wasn't going to be safety goggles. So I'm led to believe that he doesn't have Spore. So at this point, I think I am going to go for the Gyro Ball. Do I value Rocks? I think I go for the Gyro Ball, right? Break a potential Sash. I go for Rocks. I should have went for Gyro Ball. Doesn't matter though, because he is going to have Spore, and my Bronzong is going to be put to sleep, which is a little bit annoying, and we do not end up getting the first turn Wake, so we're not going to get our Rocks up. So we have been asleep for one turn. Keep that in mind. Knowing that we've been asleep for one turn, so knowing this, right? Knowing we've been asleep for one turn, knowing he's Breloom with what I assume at this point is Sash with spikes in the field, you're going to assume one of two things, right? He's going to go into an offensive threat such as Goldengo to try to really pressure us here, or he's going to go into Cyclizar to try to get a spin off. Either way, I felt like my best play overall was to go Fluttermane. Fluttermane covered the Goldengo. Obviously, I would probably like to scout for a potential Scarf, potential Kasib Berry, and switch out after that, but I would be able to see if he's pressured out and see if he is actually Scarf or not. Otherwise, he goes into Cyclizar, and then I'm in a really good spot with Fluttermane because we've already seen that he isn't Scarf, and we're able to fire off a Moonblast and guarantee a KO. My mindset was Fluttermane was safe because his only play here is probably going to be the Drain Punch. You're not going to Spore again, obviously, because Sleep Claws. You're not going to Bullet Seed because I'm in on a Bronzong that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And you might Drain Punch, but you are probably going to switch out to preserve your potential Sash. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out here. I'm going to go into Fluttermane. Again, I gave you my reasoning. I feel like 100% of the time, this is just a very safe play. Unless for some reason that he decides to randomly Bullet Seed, then I'm always safe. So we're going to go ahead and Fluttermane here. He is going to stay in, so I'm like, okay, so he's probably going to Drain Punch here. He might be Sub, he might be Leech Seed. If he's one of those moves, we're in a little bit of a bad situation, but he is actually going to Bullet Seed, which is a play that tilted me to the end of the earth. He explained me his thought process afterwards, and I still don't understand, but I'll explain it a little bit more in a couple turns, because in a couple turns it makes a little bit more sense why I disagree with it so much. So we are going to lose our Fluttermane there, which is very unfortunate. Again, not really agreeing with that Bullet Seed play. I'm absolutely tilted at this point, which I should have got under control, but unfortunately I was like, I just lost my best win con. Like, Rocks are up, so Cetitan's in a really bad spot. I might actually just straight up lose to this Breloom if he's Focus Sash at this point. I don't have a whole lot of options. So I had to play around this Pokemon very weird. Bronzong, I could go into that and I could first turn Wake and then I could kill it if I first turn Wake or bring it down to Sash, but that's not a very reliable thing to do. So I'm really thinking here, but my best play overall is to go into Cetitan and double Ice Shard because it breaks a potential Sash. He cannot OHKO me with Drain Punch or Mach Punch or whatever the case may be. 2 Machs can't kill me. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go Abomasnow, set the Snow, that way Cetitan is faster than that Mach Punch, and then I'm going to throw off 2 Ice Shards in order to deal with that. So I'm going to go ahead and go Abomasnow here. I see no other way out other than hoping that my Bronzong wakes up, but if it doesn't, then I'm just in a tough spot. So I go Abomasnow, going to try to get this Snow up. Let's fast forward just a little bit here. We're going to try to get this Snow up, and I'm going to go ahead and pivot out into Bronzong at this point. Again, not really having a lot of use for this Pokemon other than Spore Bait. He's going to go for the Bullet Seed here again and do basically no damage to Bronzong. So at this point, I have to essentially either hope my Bronzong wakes up and he doesn't have a fighting move of any sort to kill me, or let this Pokemon go down, go into Cetitan, double Ice Shard, and get this Breloom down. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for Gyro Ball, hope that I wake up by some miracle and he just has Bullet Seed and gets 2 hits, or for some reason, I don't know, he just doesn't attack me. He Spores again for some reason. I don't know. My play is very just sack Bronzong. Sack Bronzong, goes to Titan, hope he doesn't have Drain Punch. Didn't expect it really, but I was like baffled. So he's actually, this is where I disagree with the Fluttermane play even more. He switches out his Breloom. So my mindset the first time when you bullet seed on the Bronzong, you didn't kill my Bronzong, right? You didn't really gain anything from bullet seeding if I stayed in. You lost your Breloom potentially if you are not Sash, or lost your Sash if I woke up that second turn wake, not even first turn wake, by the way. So the first time switching out made a whole lot of sense to me. I understood that completely. But after you showed the willingness to stay in that first time, what did you gain from switching out the second time? Okay, so I got this a little bit wrong. I'm probably going to cut this out and say this right now. So what he actually said was the Scarf I had on it didn't matter anymore since Fluttermane was gone, and I stand by the play since without the spike, non-boosted Cetitan never KO Garganacl with EQ. But that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because regardless of Fluttermane being around or not, it still lived that hit, and you would want to live that hit just in case. So that's kind of why I'm like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because you could rapid spin it away and live that hit regardless of Fluttermane being gone. To me, that logic is completely flawed. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I guess maybe I'm being a dickhead, but we'll continue. So he's just going to go for the rapid spin here. He's not going to quite KO my Bronzong. Going to get that speed boost, and we're going to be able to take out the Cyclizar here, I do believe. We might have just got our rocks back up. No, we take out the Cyclizar. Cyclizar was definitely a little bit annoying, but at this point, we're on the back foot, right? We don't have a lot of options to belly drum with our Cetitan. We don't actually even have Spore Bait now for the Breloom. Breloom can just come in and bullet seed and put me in a very, very poor position. Again, we do have a Bomb of Snow still, so we can reset the Snow. And we can still have Cetitan in the back, but I'm going to be honest, guys, like, it's super grim without Fluttermane. The positioning is very poor. I definitely should have brought some type of removal with Talonflame. That's my own fault, but if I had Fluttermane at this point, I would have been able to break a whole lot easier. It would have put him in a lot of 50-50s of what I'm going to click, and I could just come in and kind of click Moonblast and be in a great spot. So he is going to go Hydreigon here. I'm just going to sack my Bronzong. I don't want to take any more unnecessary chip on my Ting Lu that is obviously at like 0 leftovers recovery from now on. So he's at, I think, 170 out of 250 HP. So I want to preserve as much health on him as possible because Ting Lu is very important for both this Hydreigon as well as the Goldingo. And without that recovery, his longevity is very, very limited. So Bronzong is going to go down here. He is going to U-turn, and we're going to have to kind of play off what he goes into. His best play, in my opinion, is probably going into that Breloom. Breloom puts us in a bad spot, and obviously, in my mind, still, he is Sash, so no spike up. He's Sash. He basically puts something to sleep guaranteed. So there's no reason that he shouldn't go Breloom in my mind, and he absolutely does go Breloom there. So now I have to play around this Pokemon again, which is super, super annoying. Don't have a lot, if any, counterplay here. Again, my only counterplay is going to Titan, hoping he does not have Drain Punch, and then just Ice Sharding 2 times. That's the only way out of this, because I am Citrus Berry, and I'm able to live the Mach Punch and then come back in on Rocks later. So I am going to go for that. I think I Ice Spinner first because Snow is still up, so it doesn't matter. I think I debated it for a while, but I am going to go ahead and go for the Ice Spinner here, as he is going to show the Mach Punch, I do believe. And I wasn't worried about this because I could just Ice Shard the next turn, and I would out-prioritize him. And we're going to see that he does go for the Mach Punch. I do live, which was expected. He gets a crit, actually, which does a lot more than I thought it would do. And that crit sucks because I could have been potentially above 50% and maybe potentially belly drummed on something, or just had more HP to live whatever hit possible. That put me in a really bad spot. Maybe I could have been at like 33% after Stealth Rocks. Now I'm at 17 HP after Stealth Rocks. So I'm going to go for the Ice Spinner here, and we actually see that whole time he was not Sash. So I don't know. That blows my mind still to this day. I'm not going to say anything else on it. That's crazy. That's crazy how much he valued getting rid of that spike the second time after Breloom switched out. I don't know. So down goes the Breloom. In comes the Goldingo, I think, and we're kind of at a loss here. We don't really have a whole lot of things to do. I could Earthquake the Goldingo and do a lot of damage, but no, it's actually Garganacl. I forgot he had Garganacl. So Garganacl comes in and is going to basically claim a KO. We don't have any options at this point. I think I do just go for the Earthquake here because my win con at this point is hoping that he runs out of time for some reason and I have more Pokemon. I don't know. So we are going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit. We're actually going to switch out into Ting Lu to preserve the Cetitan because I think that Cetitan, if I for some reason ever get Goldingo chipped, is the only reason that I can win this game. So he's going to go for the Soul Cure here, which is going to definitely be super annoying on my Pokemon that does not have any form of recovery anymore. Doesn't do any damage, but does a consistent 12% at the end of every single turn, as you're going to see here. And then I think I do just throw off a Body Press here. No, I throw off an Earthquake because I don't think there's any reason for him to... Why do I Spike? I Spike, I guess, to try to put Goldingo in range of Cetitan. I guess that makes sense. So I get the Spike up, try to put everything in range of Goldingo, or everything in range of Cetitan. We're going to just keep fast forwarding through this. he's going to go into Goldengo here, so if I would have Earthquaked, the Goldengo actually would have died, which is crazy, because then Cetitan, I think, could have won from the position that we were at. I think. It would have been close with the Garganacl, obviously, but if we would have got this Earthquake off on that Goldengo, we would have been in, at least we would have had a much better fighting chance now. So I'm going to Earthquake here. I do expect potentially that he does go into the Hydreigon, and Body Press was definitely an option, but I wanted to attack what was in front of me, try to get some damage on this Goldengo if he would allow it, because that's the only way that I'm ever winning this game is damage on this Goldengo. If I get damage on this Goldengo, then Cetitan can win the game. However, he is going to go ahead and go into his Hydreigon on my Earthquake, unfortunately. So he is going to Levitate, obviously. Yeah, I wish we Body Pressed there, but obviously I couldn't overplay too hard. I needed to get damage on that Goldengo. Wish I Earthquaked instead of spiking, but it is what it is. I don't even remember what his other fourth Pokemon is left. Maybe I'm talking crazy and I could have won regardless, but I am just going to go ahead and just attack until Ting Lu goes down. So I do believe I just Body Press here in case he stays in. What I should have done is probably Earthquaked on a choke, because then I could have seen what the Hydreigon was locked into. I could have went into a Abomasnow or Cetitan and played appropriately, but he's going to go for the U-turn here. I live on 6 HP, which really surprised me, and he is actually going to go into the Goldengo, expecting the Body Press. So a bunch of really good plays here at the end by Matt for sure. If I would have just called one of them right, then we would have had some sort of a chance. Unfortunately, I did not. That's my own fault. I should have played a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, I was down, and that's when you're supposed to play a little bit more aggressive. But we're going to just take more Soul Cure, and we're going to go down. We're going to go into a Abomasnow, and we're going to try to set up the Snow. The only way I win is like a crit on the Goldengo after one more Spike is like the only way that I can ever win. So I'm going to try to get some more damage on this Goldengo if he will allow it. I think I go for the Earth Power here, anticipating that he hopefully stays in, hopefully gives me damage on this Pokemon, and hopefully Shadow Ball doesn't kill me. But he's going to go for the Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball is going to kill me here as we are just out of options. So next up, I'm going to go into my Slowbro and be like, okay, maybe he'll give me a little bit of damage. With the Slowbro, I'm AV, so I should live a Shadow Ball, assuming he was Scarf, not Specs. And I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball of my own, try to get some big damage on this Pokemon, and see if we can put him in Cetitan range. Again, it's not looking very good. There's almost no outs here. I actually don't think there is an out. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball. We are going to take that not very well, and we're going to go for our own Shadow Ball and do a lot of damage to this Goldengo. So now we have the damage on the Goldengo that we potentially need if he is no HP, and I'm going to go for a Future Sight, I think, assuming he doesn't kill us for some reason, because now this is in range of Cetitan, and if a Future Sight's in the air, then maybe something else could be in range of Cetitan, or Cetitan could kill it with the Future Sight. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of good plays at this point. So down goes the Slowbro, and we are going to go into our last Pokemon, which is going to be Cetitan. And Cetitan is going to have to try to bring back this entire game. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake. Goldengo has the chip on it that we need, and Goldengo is going to go down there. Cetitan is going to pick up 1 KO, and he has too many pieces. He has Garganacl, which at this point does not die. I'm not even 100% confident that Hydreigon dies, and he actually shows Iron Valley here, which was a little surprising to me. I was like, oh, it probably does live an Ice Spinner. That's a good one. So I guess he's just giving this thing a kill. But it actually has Shadow Sneak, and I actually didn't know it got Shadow Sneak, so good prep on Matt for that. And that is going to take us to Titan down. And we're going to lose. Again, I don't know if that Brolin play didn't happen if we'd won. I think that we were in a better position. I think it's hard to say, because obviously we would have had a whole Fluttermane, which is probably the best Pokemon in this format, right? So it's hard to say. Obviously, no hacks involved, really. I don't really think there was anything hacksy. It was just a play that I disagree with that made me really salty, so I did a post-com. Let me know what you thought of that play down below. Again, I'm sorry if you guys didn't like this commentary. I don't like this commentary either. It's obviously not what I wanted to do. I wanted my live reactions. I love live commenting, but here we are. Again, no hard feelings to Matt. I already told him that I was sorry because I was a little mean to him after the game. Told him I was sorry. It's just a game of Pokemon. It's not that deep. And it isn't that deep. It is just a game of Pokemon. And at the end of the day, we just have to remember that. So thank you guys so much for watching. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.